Hello everybody, my name is Grant Blackford. I am the owner of Fishing with Grant, FWG. It's a charter slash guide service. We service Dayton and a 2-hour radius around Dayton. And the reason I'm making this video today is kind of go over some of the lures I use and also some of the techniques I use, what poles, what fishing line, things of that nature. And I want to give a big shout out to one of my sponsors, my only sponsor. It's 153 Baits. They actually let me choose and create a bait color, and it's called the FWG. It's one of their #1 sellers right now, and I'm very proud of that. And it's an amazing company. It's out of the Dayton area, family run, really good guys, and I'm just really happy about them. And I'm here to pretty much talk about some of those lures that they have to offer too. So they have this wonderful jerk bait that I really like a lot. And this thing has great movement in the water. Fantastic. I also got the lipless. Very awesome colors. I love the red underneath there. Very good quality. It's got some good noise. I love the rattles in those. You know, they got square bills. You can hear that. It's got some nice thud action to it. And of course you got the black. I love that. That's going to really tear them up. It's going to really get some big fish. But let me start off with what kind of poles I like to use. For cranking, for lipless, things of that nature, I just love the Duckett name brand, the Duckett rods. This is actually the Duckett Pro Series, and it's a 7'1", medium, fast. And the reason why I like these so much is that if you've never fished with a Duckett, I just love the feel. The blank in here is just so sensitive. You can feel everything. And when you set that hook, it just sets it just right. The bend is perfect on this thing. And I love to use, for some reason, I like spinning reels. I've grown up with them. Ever since I was a kid, I've always fished with spinning reels. And I always go with the Quantum Smoke Speed Freaks. The Quantum line's very, I love them very much. And I never have any issues with them, and they last a long time. So when I take out my clients, I always hook them up with a Duckett pole and a Quantum reel. And what I always use on these, it's a Power Pro moss green. With all my cranking stuff, the half ounce, 1 ounce, I use 10 pound. And people are like, oh my gosh, why do you do a 10 pound, braid line? I said, well, because first of all, you can get more on the spool. Okay. Second of all, you can cast a lot further. And to be honest with you, I never have any problem breaking or losing fish on my 10 pound. And so I've always used it, and I love it. Never have any issues with it. And you can see right here, this is set up for, chatterbait with this, really nice colors on that. But it's that Pro Series Gary Klein. It's that Duckett. That's one of the ones I like to fish with all my square bills, with my lipless crankbaits. When I do jig fishing, or any bottom fishing, I'll go up to, depending on how big and heavy it is, I'll go up to a 20 pound test line for braid. But I only use braid. I don't use mono. I don't use any of that other fluorocarbon or anything like that. People have their own opinions about why they like to use it. I always catch fish and never have a problem catching on braid. So here's my next pole that I really like to use, and this is for Ned rigging. It's actually a Lose, and it's a speed stick. And this is actually tournament performance. But I just love this thing. It's only a 6 foot, 6'7" actually, and it's medium light, action fast. And the reason I like that so much is because, you don't need a long pole to do Ned rigging. It's easier to have a smaller pole when you Ned rig. And on top of that, when you're in the river, it's just easier to handle when you're wading. And on top of that, in the kayak, if you're fishing it, it's easier to finesse fish with a smaller pole. But as you can see, it's specially made for Ned rigging. So I know that 153 Baits has a really good Ned rig bait on there. The color that I like so much, it's this peanut butter and jelly. A lot of times what I'll do, instead of using this mushroom head, I'll use a one size hook, and I'll use a bobber stopper on there, and then I'll use, the plastic. Either or. If you're getting hung up really bad and you're losing a lot of these, I would go to a hook instead of these because the hooks are a lot cheaper than these are. And you can always, I use a 1/16 Titan tungsten weight on there. But I love this pole also because look at there, it's got like a hurricane. They call that the hurricane eyelet. The reason they have that is it helps from getting wind knots and things of that nature. So I really like that. But again, that's the Lew's speed stick, and it's 6'7". And again, that is medium light action. And of course, I'm using that Quantum Smoke. It's a different one. It's a little smaller. It's a 25, but you don't need a huge one when you're doing Ned rigging. It's finesse fishing. So, and again, a lot of people use a lot lighter line. I still use a 10-pound. All right, so let's get to using the bigger pole. Okay, I use this when I like to flip mats, or I like to use heavy deep crankbaits. Because I don't know if you guys ever tried to use any big, deep divers, but a spinning reel does not get it done. You just can't cast it far enough, really. You can't really get that bait down far enough to where you need it to be on a spinning reel. So that's when I, break out the old bait caster. This is another Quantum. It's called the PT Accurist. I know people have a lot of their own, stuff they like to use. I like to use this. This is actually 20-pound test. And the reason why is because this is going to be on the bottom. And what I have on there, of course, is, bobber stopper. It's a lead weight. I like to use tungsten, but if I know there's a lot of rocks, I don't want to keep on losing expensive weights. So I'll get a bunch of these cheap lead weights and use those if I know that it's really rocky. This is actually a biffle bug. I really like this biffle bug. Sometimes people tear these legs off and use that, but I always use the legs. I'll put these on chatter baits as well, but I know 153 Baits does have some really good creature baits. I just don't have any to show you right now. I'm just pretty much using the hard stuff. But anyways, this is a 7'3" ducket, and this is medium heavy. And it's for when I flip, when I'm using deep diving crankbaits, I'm using anything heavy, or I need something, where I know that I need a little more backbone when I'm fishing, and that's what I usually use. I usually go longer than a 7 foot. But again, I love ducket. I also use St. Croix, the Mojo Bass series. I really like a lot. It's pretty incredible stuff, and that's another brand that I use all the time. But all my clients get all that stuff, so very excited to get back on the water this year. I'm excited to add 3 new Prostaffers to my team, and that again will be Nick Lambert, Richard Diaz, and David Craig. So I'm very excited about those 3 guys. They're going to help me branch out, and really they're special in their own ways. They're good at different presentations. They're good at different things, and each of them have been very, very good in this community, helping the community, teaching the community on different stuff, and very good on social media. So anyways, thank you for 153 Baits for allowing me to make this video, and thank you for having my back. And I can't wait to come out there and make some more videos with all those 153 Baits. All the new colors they're coming out with. They're going to break me, I tell you. They got so many good colors and so many cool things coming out. But 153 Baits, guys, check them out. 153baits.com. Everybody have a good day. Talk to you later.